Hello everybody, hope you are doing well. Today we are going to implement the sign in to Firebase feature, but first there are a few things we need to handle. And the first one is in our welcome view. As you can see, when I click on the agree and continue button, I should be going to the login view, but it's not going yet, so we need to implement it. To do so, we will create a new file. It will be a Swift file. We will call it welcome view model, and here we will have a class. We will call it welcome view model of type observable object, and here we will have a boolean that will say to us if we will show the login or not. So it will be @published var show login view. It will be of type boolean, and by default it's false because by default we display the welcome view, and if it changes we want to display the login view. So in my welcome view I will have @state object. I will call my view model, so @state object private var view model equals welcome view model. Okay, that's perfect. The second thing, as you may be remembering, agree button is a custom view, so we need to pass the view model as an argument to agree view. So to do so, we will add @state object private var view model of type welcome view model, and as an argument we will pass view model of type welcome view model, and here it will be self dot view model equals state object with the wrapped value of view model. And we need of course to add the missing argument, which will be a view model. That way it's perfect. Now when we click on the button we need to toggle what we call it, that boolean that we created, show login view. I want it to become true, so we will make show login, or I apologize, view model dot show login dot toggle, which means I will make it true. And we will add now dot full screen cover with is presented, and it will be $view model dot show login view, which means if it's true you show me the login view, if it's false you don't show me the login view. And for the content of course it will be login view. Okay, perfect. Now if I click on agree and continue, you see we go to the login view, which is perfect. Okay, perfect. The second thing now we need to handle is when we go to the app. As you can see, we are starting with login view, and that's wrong. We should be starting, if we are logged in, we should be starting with inbox view. If we are not logged in, we should be starting with welcome view. And to know if we are logged in or not, if you remember in the last video, we talked in auth service about this variable user session that will be nil if the user is not logged in, and that will have a user if the user is already logged in. And as you can see, when we create a user, the user session takes the user, and we will do the same thing later with the login. So we need to do a test based on user session. Okay, perfect. And so we will go first to our root. We will create two new groups. The first one we will call it view, and the second one we will call it view model. In the view we will create a new file, swiftui view, and we are going to call it root view. Okay, perfect. and it's in our root view that we need to test on the user session. We will have a group, and inside the group we need to test on the user session. But currently we don't have access to the user session. We only are getting the user session in the auth service. So we are going to combine and we are going to subscribe to the user session in the auth service. Okay, to do so, we are going to our view model. We are going to create a new file. It will be a Swift file. It will be root view model. Perfect, and it will import Firebase, and we are also going to import combine, and here it will be class root view model of type observable object, and here I will have what did we call it, we are going to have this one, the user session. So we will have @published var user session. It will be of type firebase auth dot user, and of course the user is optional because user session can either have a user, firebase user, or it is nil. That's why it's optional. Okay, and now we are going to subscribe to the user session in our auth service. So to do so, we will add a private func setup subscribers, and here we are going to call auth service dot shared dot $user session dot sync, and we will start with weak self to avoid a retain cycle. Then we will have user or user session, we will call it, and it will be self dot user session equals user session, and we need to store it, so we will add private var cancellables equal set of any cancelable, and we will add dot store in address cancellables. Okay, and now we need to call our setup subscriber when we are initializing our view model. So in the init we will call setup subscribers. That's all we need in the view model. Now in my view I need to call the view model first. So add state object private var view model equal root view model, and now I will test according to the user session. So if my user session is nil, it means I'm not logged in, so I display the welcome view, and if user session is not nil, it contains a user, so I'm logged in. In that case we display the other one, which is the inbox view. So here it will be group, and if view model dot user session is not nil, in that case we display the inbox view. If I test this on the simulator, we created a user, and as you know, in the auth service, when we create a user, the user session is equal to result.user. By the way, it will be late to tab this warning. Okay, so because we created a user in the simulator, it should show us the inbox view. But in the preview we didn't create a user or do a login, so it won't. It should not display the inbox view. It should display to us the welcome views, or else we want to display the welcome view. It should now display to us the welcome view. Okay, perfect. It shows that our work is working perfectly so far. Now, of course, I need to go to tutorial app, and here I want to call my root view to be the first view to call. Okay, now that's perfect. The second thing I want to do is to implement the login. So I will have a function called login, and I will have email of type string, password of type string, and it will be async throws. Okay, that's perfect. Another thing I want is I want it to be executed in the main thread, so I will add @main actor. Okay, perfect. Now I will have let result equals auth dot sign in with email and password, and I forgot, it should be, I think, try await auth sign in with email and password, and I will give it the email and the password, and we will probably need to handle the error in this case, so do with try and catch, so do catch. So if we got an error, we will print failed to login, and we will display the error, so it will be error.localized description. Okay, that's beautiful. The second thing, when we do try await auth.sign in with email and password, we are already signed in. But the second thing we need to do, we don't want our user session to still be nil in this case. I want our user session to have the result.user, like to get the user, like we did in the create user. So we will have self.user session equals result.user. That's perfect. The third thing we want to have in our app now is also to upload the user data or fetch the user data, because as you probably know, okay, we are logged in, we got the user. Now I want to get all the details, like the full name, the phone number, and all that stuff. And to do so, we are going to create another function that we will be calling. So we will create private func load user data, and I'm going to call this function here inside my login. Okay, perfect. Now I'm not going to load the user data inside the auth service. As we already said, the auth service is only for things related to authentication. Fetching the user data is more related to the user. We will create another service for everything related to the user. We will call it user service. It will be a Swift file, and we will create a file called user service. In this file, we are also going to import Firebase, and we will also import firebase-firestore Swift. Okay, perfect. And it will be class user service. Like in every class, we need a shared value, so we don't have to instantiate it every time. So it will be static var shared equals user service. Okay, and we need a current user that will be of type user, where we will store all the data, and we need it from our model. So we need a user like this one, where you got the full name, the email, the phone number, the profile image URL. So we will add published var current user of type optional user, which is perfect. And now we will add our function, which will be function fetch current user, and it will be async throws. I want this function to be executed on the main thread, so I will add admin actor, and we will have a do, try and catch, and I will start with the catch. I will write print failed to fetch user data. First thing, as you know, we need the UID, because if I open the Firebase, as you can see, the users, every user got his ID first in the document, then you got all the fields, so we need the user ID first thing, so it will be guard let UID equal auth current user UID else return. Okay, perfect. The second thing, now I want to get the document, so to get all these, so I will add let snapshot equals firestore collection, and in the collection I want, I apologize for this. Okay, and in the collection I want this, the collection users, so it will be collection users. Then I want, I apologize again, this document, so a document that contains the UID, so dot document with the path of UID. Then we want all these fields, so it will be dot get document, so dot get document. Now we want, and apologize, of course, try. Okay. Okay, try wait, I apologize. Okay, now after that, I want now this value of snapshot to be stored in the current user, or the current user to get all this data. To do so, we will have current user or self.current user, okay, current user equals snapshot dot data as a user. We are going to decode it as a user, so current user can get this data. So as with dot data as user dot self. Okay, perfect. Now okay, and it will be a try. Okay, that's all. Okay, perfect. Now we are getting the current user. Of course, in our user service, in the initializer, I prefer to call my fetch current user. Okay, with try wait. And I forgot it should be inside task. So task try wait fetch current user, which is perfect. And in my auth service here in the load user data that I'm calling, I don't know, I'm calling in my login, I'm going to call the fetch current user in user service. So here it will be task try wait user service dot shared dot fetch current user. That way we are fetching the current user, which is perfect, I think. Now we need to be able to call this login. So in my login view model, I need a function login, so that calls our login from our auth service. So it will be function login async throws, and my function, it will be auth service dot shared dot login, and I will pass the email as argument, the email and the password, which is perfect now. And of course try wait, I don't know why I keep forgetting the try wait. Okay, now that I did this, now I want to call my login when I click on the login button. So I will go to my login view, and as you can see, we got the text login. In the action it was empty. Now I want to have task try wait view model dot login. Okay, this should be enough to do the login. But before testing our login, I want first to what do I want? I apologize. Yes, I want to implement also sign out. So I will go back to my auth service, and here I want to add a function for sign out. So function logout. Okay, and here it will be auth dot sign out, and I think it will be try wait. I don't need it. Okay, perfect. I could handle it, or we can make it optional. It's better to do try and catch, so we catch when the sign out is not going, but in this case I already showed you how to do with catch, so we don't I'm not going to show it again, but you already know how to print, for example, unable to log out, or with localized description of the error. Okay, another thing in the logout we need to take into consideration after we did logout. When I write auth.auth.signout, I'm already logged out. But there are a few things we need to take into consideration. First thing is the user session, because as you know, if I go to my root view, I'm deciding to show the inbox view or the welcome view depending on the user session, if it's nil or not. So if I'm logged out, the user session needs to be nil, which means I need to have self.user session and it will be equal nil. That's the first thing. Another thing that is very important also in my user service, I got a very important element called current user. I don't want to fetch the current user. If the current user is nil, it needs to be also nil. So I need to update it here, so it will be auth service dot shared dot current user, and it will be equal also to nil, which is a very important step too. Okay, so let me check what's the problem. At published var current user of type optional user. Okay, for some reason it's not becoming. Okay. So I know why. I apologize. It's user service dot shared dot current user. Apologize, a lot of mistakes today, but anyway, that's all we need to log out. Now we need to call our logout function, and to do so we need to go to our setting. Where is our setting? I apologize. Yes, here it is. So here I will add the function to logout. So function logout, and I will call auth service dot shared dot logout, which is perfect. Now I will need to call my logout function, and I will go so to the setting view, and here we got something little bit interesting. So as you see, it's I didn't make it a button, so first of all we need a button. Where we got this A stack. I want it inside the button, so all these becomes buttons. Second thing, I want only to be to log out when I click on logout. I don't want to log out if I click on on account, for example. To handle this, I will make a little check. So if option equals dot logout, I think, yes, equal dot logout. In that case, it will be view model dot logout, which is perfect. Another thing, as you can see, the title became blue, so I will give it a foreground style of black, so it's back to the color before making it a button, dot black. Okay, perfect. Now everything should be working, so if I run, hopefully, and finger crossed, everything will work perfectly. So let's wait for it and see what it's going to display to us, and then we will check the login feature and we will check the logout feature, but I'm optimistic. I really hope that it will be working perfectly. So let's wait for it. It's the first time running the app, so it may take a little while. Okay, so let's wait for it, and like I said, finger crossed, everything will be working perfectly. Okay, so the moment of truth. And perfect, as you can see, we found ourselves inside the inbox view, which is right, because in the last video we created a user. That's why we should find ourselves in the login view. Now if I go here and I click on logout, perfect. When I clicked on logout, the user signed out, and as you can see, we found ourselves in the welcome view, which is perfect. Now we are going to test the login. To be honest, I forgot what mail I used, so okay, so it's omar.femri@gmail.com. Okay. Okay, so again, we need to add auto capitalization.none in this text field, so we don't have first letter as uppercase. We will handle it later. And for the password, I think as always 60. Okay, I'm not sure if I got a problem or not. Failed to give. Okay, it tells me failed to login. The supplied authentication credential is malformed or has expired. So apparently that's not the right password. Okay, if I'm not wrong, to be honest, I'm not sure if I wrote 60 or something else, so just to be okay. I'm not sure what's the password I wrote the last time, so you know what, I will create a new user with a password I'm sure from, so I will make it this way, omarfemri@gmail.com, also omarfemri. I hate this auto-completion, I apologize. Okay, for the phone number it's plus 3 free, and for the password it will be it's 60, so okay, perfect. Now if I log out, let me check this one just to see the email in front of me. So it's omarfemri@gmail.com. One, two, three, four, five, six, and it's logged in, so perfect. Okay, so it's working perfectly. I'm really happy everything is working perfectly. So if I go here again and do the logout, it will log out, so perfect. I'm pretty happy with what we achieved in today's video. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.